My name is Dana Marshall, and I'm currently working towards a bachelor's degree in professional communications. Whenever people find out that I'm taking college classes, they ask me what my major is. And when I tell them, they usually get a blank look on their face and say, "What are you going to do with that?" I think most of them assume that if you're interested in communications, that you are looking to get a job in television or something along those lines. But they don't realize that a communications degree can apply to nearly every career field. The truth is, there's many career paths available to people with a degree in communications. Today I'm going to talk about some of these options, average salaries in these fields, and give examples of the type of companies that are interested in hiring communications majors. A communications degree is proof of several skills. There's an emphasis on writing, public speaking, persuasion, research, interpersonal and group communication. Those are the main skills that you find in this degree, but there's also several more, such as analytical skills, being able to find the essential message and tailor it to a specific audience. There's problem solving, which means working within your limits, whether they be budget limits, time limits, deadlines, but still being able to keep a focus on that message. There's the ability to make complex value decisions, which means knowing what you're saying, how to say it, and following a code of ethics while you're doing that. You also need to be able to effectively interact with others, knowing how to both send and receive messages, keep the flow of ideas moving back and forth, and interpret the feedback in conversations or from written messages. Because if you don't understand the feedback, you don't know if your message has been received, and you're not receiving a message in return. There's no communication there, so you need that skill. These skills translate to nearly every career field and keep communications majors in high demand. Now I'm going to touch on some of the most popular career paths that communications majors follow. There's certainly more than this, but these are the ones I chose to highlight. First is writing and editing. Writing can be creative, such as novels, short stories, screenplays, news stories, or there's technical writing, such as instruction manuals, grant applications, corporate website content. These things are all communications jobs. Editing also falls in this category, and that just means ensuring that these things are well written and fine-tuned. So you can be on either end and still be within that communications degree. You can be employed by a company or self-employed or a freelancer if you are a writer or editor. And there's a wide range of salaries because there are so many different types of jobs in this category. The average is between $40,000 and $90,000 a year. The second career field I chose is internal communications. This means ensuring that departments and employees are working together harmoniously and efficiently. You double check the efficiency of top-down communication. You're responsible for newsletters and other written materials. Large companies can employ a whole communications department, and smaller companies may only have one or two specialists. So this is another area where there is a wide pay grade variance, but the average is about $62,000 a year. The third area I chose is public relations. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics anticipates that employment of public relations professionals will grow by 24% by 2018. So there are a lot of jobs to be had in this category. These people are responsible for the public image of the company. They manipulate public opinion, mediate between the company and the press, write press releases and speeches, give public statements, organize events, and act as spokespeople. So they are basically the connection between the company and the public. It's a very important job. They also do crisis control. So if there is some negative aspect, something affecting the company, a public scandal, then they coordinate the media appearances to control and direct the story, try to put a positive spin on it. Very important. They can also be employed by the government under the title of Public Information Officer or Press Secretary. So there are many, many jobs in this field. There's a huge range of salary depending on the size of the company also. I mean, a small company can only pay so much, but a large company, they can pay a lot more. So the average, the range is from $20,000 to over $400,000 a year. The average is about $51,000. So, I mean, you'd have to have a very large company to have a $400,000 salary would be nice, but the average is $51,000. Now, the next area that I chose was publicity. This is somewhat similar, but deals with single people generally rather than a company. Publicist helps authors, athletes, politicians, celebrities get media coverage. They talk to the press, they arrange public appearances, they land interviews, generate excitement for their client and the work that their client does. They protect the client from scandals and negative press, just like you would do as far as scandals if you are talking about public relations. So they do a lot of similar things, but really they are trying to generate more and more excitement about their client rather than just giving the public information about it. Now, the average salary is $44,000, but can range from $25,000 to over $100,000 depending on the client. Obviously, the more famous the person is, the more work you're doing, the more money you make. Okay, another field is market research analysis. You would be responsible for designing questionnaires, polls, and surveys to determine the effectiveness of existing products, marketing strategies, and the needs of consumers. You gather data, you analyze it, and create recommendations for the company. This is directly involved with increasing profits and customer satisfaction, so this is also very important. The average salary is about $45,000 for this field, and it is a big one also. There are a lot of jobs in this category for this degree. Another area is newscasting in journalism. They say that journalism is a dying art because obviously people don't read as much print as they used to, but there are still a lot of jobs available as far as online. Things still need to be written. Just because they're online doesn't mean that someone doesn't have to put them there. So newscasting and journalism, you would be responsible for broadcasting the news. There's analysts, there's anchors, there's radio personalities. They turn news events into public broadcasts. So they're responsible for reading, interpreting, and writing, as well as delivering this news. They need to think on their feet because a lot of them are right on the spot, getting those interviews and being at breaking news events. So the ability to think quickly and report the news with sensitivity and without bias is very important. The average salary is about $56,000. Another field is advertising. This is another biggie. Companies employ advertising teams, and all of the positions in these teams are well suited for communications majors. Copywriters write brochures, product packaging, and commercials. Those are the typical advertising jobs you think of as far as on the old TV shows when you see them go off to work with their briefcases. They're doing all the writing, the things that you see in the ads. The media department places the ads where the customers will see them. So they're responsible for checking out the data analysis, realizing where things need to be put, placing them so that it's going to be the most effective. Account planners advise and develop the ad focus, and the account managers are liaisons between the agency and the client. So all of these jobs are well suited for a communications major, and they're all equally important, and it's a big area. The average salary in here is $51,000. Another kind of fun job area is event planning. These people have to be skilled at organizing others, and they have to be detail-oriented. They lead others to make a plan happen. Taking care of logistics such as scouting the locations, organizing lodging, securing food and refreshments, setting the tone and scope of the event are the responsibility of the event planner. Their average salary is $43,000, and you get to party. Another area is customer service. Now, this is not a job for everyone because you need a thick skin and a positive attitude to really succeed in this. And I think most people have at least had a taste of some kind of customer service. It's not necessarily an easy job. But when you have a degree, you have a lot of opportunities in this field, and it's a good option if the fit is right. You have to cater to customers and offer support and find solutions because they're generally not calling you to tell you how great a product is or a service is. It's generally a complaint. But if you've got the right personality and can put the right spin on it, there are plenty of great jobs in this field. Retailers, airlines, healthcare companies, they all employ customer service representatives. The average salary is about $36,000. And a field that goes along with this in a way is sales. You might not think of sales as being a communication degree type thing, but it is. You need to be able to sell products or services while building a loyal clientele. Networking and follow-up are key in this profession. You need to be an aggressive person, and you need to stay updated on the chosen industry because the competition can be fierce. And advertising sales is a really good subcategory, which fits the communications degree nicely. Kind of putting a little spin on that, you're advertising and sales, bring it together, and your average salary is about $65,000. So there's really no limit to the places a person with a degree in professional communications can go. I did a basic online search to gather some examples of companies that are currently looking to employ communications majors, and the list was huge. The degree is so flexible and sought after, the sky's the limit. For example, WebMD is looking for a marketing communications specialist. The Portland Art Museum is looking for a public relations and marketing assistant. The American Red Cross is looking to hire a communications director. And Doc Martens Airwear USA is looking for a retail marketing manager. All of these jobs popped up when I typed in communications degree as my only search term. That is a very, very wide array of jobs, all looking for that same person, that same type of degree, but very, very different jobs. So there's really a fit for everyone's personality, what everyone wants to do. It just goes everywhere. These are just a few very diverse examples of where a communications degree can take somebody. Because having good communication skills is desirable to all companies for one reason or another. It's easy to get a foot in the door with this degree. For example, a friend of mine has, I believe it was a minor in journalism, and he got his bachelor's in communications. Then he went back for his master's. And his master's, I believe, is in business. And he's told me several times he has these degrees, and the one that puts the foot on the table is communications. That's the one that gets his foot in the door. That's the one, he works for the government now. And that's what got him in. So it's easy to get your foot in the door, gets you started. It's a good place to begin. So the next time I tell someone what my major is and they ask me, what can you do with that? I'll say, what can I do with that?